How revisiting the Clinton era can help us understand the world we live in now. The Guardian. In the first episode of The Clinton Affair, a 7-part docuseries by acclaimed filmmakers Blair Foster and Alex Gibney, Bill and Hillary Clinton sit for a 60-minute interview that aired after the Super Bowl in January 1992. It was the eve of the New Hampshire primary, an election that could bring the charismatic Kansas governor closer to his lifelong dream of becoming president of the United States. But allegations of an affair with country music singer Jennifer Flowers were about to derail months of good work on the campaign trail. When the interviewer refers to their marriage as an arrangement, Bill collapses Hillary's hands and says, blue eyes tearing up, wait a minute, you are looking at two people who love each other. Then Hillary gives a response that would shape the public story of their coupledom. I'm not sitting here, some little woman standing by a man like Tammy Wynette, she says, pumping her fist emphatically. I'm sitting here because I love him and I respect him and I honor what he has been through and what we have been through together. And if that's not enough for people, then heck, don't vote for him. This scene is one of the many pieces of footage, some of it never seen before, that the filmmakers weave together in the course of the Clinton affair. It gives us a glimpse of the private story of the Clintons, the union of a pair of equals who met and fell in love in the library at Yale Law School. It's emboldened by the other's ambitions, politics, and intellect. It's a narrative that is reinforced in Hillary, a much-anticipated new docuseries coming to SBS and SBS On Demand later this year, which traces the arc of Hillary's political trajectory from her feminist awakening in the late 1960s to her 2016 presidential campaign. But the Clinton affair also shows us how the private story of the Clintons' marriage would go on to shape a public narrative about a lack of faith in the government and institutions and the inability of American political dynasties with their links to cooperate interests to understand the plight of everyday people. These ideas swirl around in today's culture, fragmenting votes around a range of interests and causes and widening the ideological divide. Hillary, however, depicts the ways in which Hillary's legacy has always been shaped by the ways in which she was forced, as a young female lawyer, to withhold her emotions to demonstrate her credibility. The docuseries also show how the scandals that rocked the Clinton administration led Hillary to further strengthen her defenses to avoid public scrutiny. The gendered double standard that dictates female politicians must be likable and able to freely show their emotions would undercut her political achievements, even as she became a global feminist icon. It would contribute to her 2016 election loss to Donald Trump, despite winning the popular vote. The Clintons have played such a powerful role in modern history that it's easy to overlook their influence as a cultural barometer. But, as Amanda has put it in a November 2018 New York Times article, the Clinton affair takes a largely neutral stance, recounting the events of the 1990s in chronological order. In doing so, it shows us for the first time how the Clintons themselves were caught up in the cultural change. The Clinton affair introduces Hillary as a new kind of First Lady. She isn't an ornament to be looked at. She is a formidable lawyer who sits near her husband, her closest collaborator in the West Wing. When Bill is inaugurated, she has chosen to chair the Task Force on National Health Care Reform, an attempt at a more inclusive health care policy that still haunts pandemic-era America. But revelations that Bill was involved in a 2-year sexual relationship with Monica Lewinsky, a bright 22-year-old White House intern, and the string of events that would lead to his 1998 impeachment shattered national perceptions of the Clintons as a couple whose relationship was rooted in shared ideals. At the time, the tabloids framed this as the Lewinsky scandal, invoking age-old gendered tropes. They cast Bill as the philandering husband, Hillary as the long-suffering wife, and Lewinsky as young seductress. But Lewinsky gives in-depth accounts of her version of events and its painful implications for her life and family. And by putting her front and center, the Clinton affair exposes the invisible misogyny at work during that cultural moment. The documentary makes clear how the scandal was exacerbated by a newly potent 24/7 news cycle interested in bankable stories and easy targets. Most importantly, the Clinton affair asks us to reconsider Lewinsky's testimony and the part she played in history from the position of a post-Me Too era, one in which powerful men like Harvey Weinstein are held accountable for exploiting young women. Just as the Clinton affair reclaims Lewinsky's perspective, Hillary raced back Hillary's story by illuminating the ways in which her own chances at the presidency were compromised by the failures of the men around her. Hillary reveals how leaked sex sent by Anthony Weiner, the husband of her top aide, Huma Abedin, sparked James Comey's new investigation into her use of a private email server, fueling rumors about her trustworthiness that had lingered since her husband was in office. In doing so, Hillary sheds new light on the age-old feminist struggle that demands women must be perfect to be taken seriously. Almost 3 decades on, the Clintons' 60 Minutes interview is a powerful testament of their legacy. It raises questions that still loom large in our culture about the role of good wives and good husbands, about whether feminism can truly elevate all women, about whether lapses in moral judgment compromise the ability to lead. But it also shows us that it's impossible to reduce people to ciphers, and that events that have become symbolic are a consequence of specific moments in time. Since we were first introduced to the Clintons, the world has changed in ways we could never imagine. When Hillary was asked on an October 2019 ABC interview to name the gutsiest thing she'd ever done, she replied, "Make the decision to stay in my marriage." Was she right? Only history will tell. How revisiting